Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Sign him up for the Box of Bait Club and he'll never be hungry again. The Box of Bait Club is a brand new dream come true for every fisherman. Something new and different in your tackle box every month. Every month, another excuse to get outside and do what you love. Don't let this one get away. The Box of Bait Club is currently accepting a limited number of pre-orders with subscriptions starting at $39.95 per month. Find out more now. Log on to boxofbaitclub.com.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. And then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-616-8010. That's 1-800-616-8010. Again, 1-800-616-8010. Call now.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich? Working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare? Having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom133.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom133.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom133.com. Go to freedom133.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom133.com.
Attention business owners. We know that owning a business means getting things done right now. So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company. General Steel. We can design a building for your business quickly and save you thousands of dollars. That's right, thousands. You may think General Steel only builds large projects or that you can't afford General Steel quality. Well, check these prices. How about a 40 by 60 foot building for under $22,000? Or even a 50 by 100 for under $35,000? That's right, a 5,000 square foot building for under $35,000. And these buildings all have General Steel quality. Best of all, you can still order a building and have it delivered in time to build this year. How's that for right now? So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company, General Steel.
800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. That's 800-393-5756.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
Boy, man, I had a rough night's sleep. Boy, whew, I got a letter from the IRS yesterday, and I just couldn't sleep. Man, I'm dying here. Somebody help me.
IRS problems affect more than just your finances. If you're ready to take back control of your life and you owe more than $10,000, you need to call the Tax Doctor. Their expert staff can immediately protect you from the IRS and state collectors and get you the best possible tax settlement guaranteed. The IRS has recently released new programs geared in helping struggling taxpayers, where you may qualify to settle your tax debt and wipe out up to 85% or more of what you currently owe. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, call the Tax Doctor right now. See if you qualify to pay less. 800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. Again, 800-989-1694.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
I don't hear anybody else. Where are all of you? Where are all of you wonderful supporters? I mean, look, yes, as I said before, Trump is a wonderful self-promoter, and his supporters are beautiful at promoting as well. They're not afraid to get out there and promote. They're not afraid to get out there and promote. But it gets pretty bad when, like I said, the CNN poll right now is at 41% for Trump, and we haven't even started voting yet. And the reason is because you have people out there who support Trump who are all over social media and any place else that they can get, constantly touting their candidate. And the rest of you supporters, or the rest of you, for the rest of the candidates, you guys think that you've got the best kept secret out there because you're not calling anywhere, you're not writing anywhere. Look, I'm all over the place looking for information. So, some people say, well, I've done this and I've done, well, that's great. Individually, you may have done something. But I'm talking about en masse, as far as the supporters go. As far as supporters go. You gotta, folks, you gotta understand that this is, if you want your candidate out there, if you want your candidate out there, you have got to definitely talk about them. You've got to be out there talking about your candidate. Because people are going to, you know what, they're going to believe you more before they believe anyone else. They're going to believe you before anyone else. They're not going to believe an ad. They're not going to believe, a TV reporter. They're not necessarily just going to believe the candidate themselves. They're also going to be looking at what other people are thinking and doing. They're also going to be thinking about, who else is supporting them? Because that's the whole point. I mean, look, you got to understand that people want to be, they want to be in the same boat as well, not the same boat. They want to feel like they're not the only one. If they're the only one, then they feel that they're out there in the cold. How are they going to support somebody if they're the only one? They can't. They won't. They're going to go to somebody else who's talking more. They're going to go to somebody else who's not only talking more, but somebody else who's, well, folks, you got to understand that in order for you to have a candidate that is, you could be a wonderful candidate. They could be the best candidate possible. But you've got to understand that unless you get out there and talk about the person that you're supporting, unless you get the word out, other people are not going to necessarily get the word out. The media isn't necessarily going to get the word. I mean, we hear this all the time, that the media controls who we hear about. No, the media doesn't do that anymore. The lamestream media can't do that anymore. That's all up to you. Sure, Donald Trump is a great self-promoter, and he can kind of keep his name out there in the open, in the lamestream media, by what he says, by what he does. But what it really comes down to is, he could say everything that he wants to, anything that he wants to. If he didn't have people talking about him and garnering him even more support with their friends and neighbors and coworkers, he'd become, just another story. He wouldn't be out there at 41%. You have to understand that you've got to get out there and support the person of your choice. And that does not mean that you say to yourself and your family, oh, yeah, I support Cruz, and then sit at home on your hands and then complain at the TV and the radio about why nobody is covering your candidate of choice. Because, look, I'm telling you right now, you got all the talk show hosts out there. Most of them have not endorsed a candidate. Most of them haven't. And they want to hear from you. They want to know why you support the person that you support. And they're getting inundated with Trump supporters. Is it no wonder he's garnering so much support? Is it no wonder that he's garnering so much media attention? Because the mainstream media is also paying attention to social media and talk radio. And they're seeing and hearing all of these wonderful people, everyday people like you and me out there talking about Trump. So guess who the story's going to be about the next day? Well, they want viewers and listeners too. So they're gonna talk about people whom they know the vast majority of people are interested in. If you don't talk about your candidate, they're going to assume that there's no support out there for them and nobody's interested in hearing from them. This is how candidates really die. This is how campaigns really die. In this modern age, as in any age, this is how candidates have often, always failed. The candidate first failed to come up with policies or ideas that could garner support. But let's say they did garner some support. Well, the other thing is that they failed to teach and tell their people, their supporters, to go out there and tell everybody from, scream from the mountaintop to go and support them, spread the message. They failed to do that. That's how campaigns fail. It's by conversation, talking, spreading the word. You can't win a campaign or an election by keeping it to yourself. Plain and simple. 570, you're live on the Rod Eccles Show. Go. Hello, 570. Are you there, 570? Nope. Guess not. Gave it a shot. Hopefully people know their own phone number. I don't know. Anyway, we got a lot to cover today, so we're going to move on. But let me just say that if you are out there with supporting another candidate, then, yeah, give it a shot. Call in. Talk to people. Like 570. You're back on the Rod Eccles Show. Go. And there's no sound from 570. Well, who knows? Sometimes people just they don't. I don't know. Don't know why. But anyway. It is what it is. A lot of times people are... They're I guess maybe they claim that they're a little too shy, as it were. They're a little too shy. Let's see if we give you one more shot, 570.
Hello?
Hello. There you go.
Hello, 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 hello.
Good morning.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Ron. Hello. Hello.
You're on.
Hello? Hello? Hello, 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 hello,
Well,
hello, 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 hello.
I can hear you.
Hello?
Can you not hear me?
Hello, Eric, can you hear me?
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me, Eric?
I can hear you. This is Rod.
Okay. Oh, Rod, I'm sorry. Forgive me. Forgive me. I got your name wrong. That's my fault. I'm sorry. I'm a brand new listener. I called you yesterday, but I'm a brand new listener, so forgive me.
Oh, there you go. As long as you're here and we can hear you.
Okay, no problem. I think the dynamic, I like the way you're talking today because people don't realize that with all of the social media, the whole dynamic has changed. Trump has 15 to 20 million people following him in various forms across the social media. The New York Times only has 1 million subscribers a day. When you can put out one tweet and reach 5 times as many people with one tweet than the New York Times does by printing a newspaper every day, that's amazing. You put out one post on Facebook and reach 10 times the amount of people. It's just, it's breathtaking. And people don't understand the power of that. They really don't.
That is an important point to make. And you make an excellent point because that is true. People have to understand that they have a lot of power today. They have a lot of social power.
A lot of power. A lot more than you've ever had. You remember, I don't know how old you are, sir, but again, I told you yesterday, I'm in my 40s. And I remember as a kid, you only had the big three. You had ABC, NBC, CBS, and that was it. You got your news at 6:30. And then when I was a kid, you went to bed after that, but that's a whole other story. But whatever they told you is what it was. There was no internet. There was no way to search these things out for yourself other than going to the library and trying to read any number of newspapers from across the country. So you were being spoon-fed whatever anybody wanted you to believe. And now, somebody says something, I mean, just on my smartphone, I can check a fact in seconds. And that holds people accountable now. So when the media tells us something about Trump, those of us who support him, we go, wait a minute, hold on, that's not exactly the truth. And we stand up for him and we refute it. And a lot of other people, they can't stand up for the person they're supporting because there's a lot of what they're saying that just isn't true.
That is true. I mean, there's a lot going on when people are out there talking about their candidate. When they call this program, that's one way. But when you get out there, and like I said, I have looked all over the place. I've listened to different radio programs, not just the Rush and Hannity, but other places too, other shows, local shows, blog talk radio shows, Spreaker show. It doesn't matter where. I've over the past 3 months, I've listened to a lot of stuff. I've read a lot of stuff, and so I know what I'm talking about when I'm saying it seems like, except with cruise people, they're a little bit more vocal, but the rest of them, I don't hear a peep out of them. All I hear is Trump, Trump, Trump. Now again, there's nothing wrong with that because they're doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing. They're spreading the word. And then you get cruise people who are trying to do the same thing, trying to spread the word, but maybe it's because there's too few of them. I don't know. But everybody else is silent.
Well, it's not that they're silent. It's amazing that here's a 69-year-old mogul, an icon of American business. I mean, who at 69 understands social media. I got members of my family that are in their 60s. They can't even operate this smartphone, let alone understand. Why would I want to be messaging with somebody I never even met or seen? Like, that just is, the old way of thinking is, oh, can I shake their hand? Now I'm shaking somebody's hand across the divide. That could be in China. That could be in, well, take this case. I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina now, but somebody in Wisconsin, somebody in Iowa, you can meet people and that just escapes them. But for this 69-year-old man to be so connected and get it is breathtaking. It's absolutely breathtaking. And He is a master of it. And to watch it as a former salesman, well, I can't say former because once you're a salesman, you're a salesman. That's it. But to watch him is just, I'm at loss for words. People don't get the man because they don't understand business and they don't understand the sale, i.e. the art of the deal. They don't get it. And now he's taken a lot of flack, if I can just make one comment. He's taken a lot of flack because he wants to be inclusive. And he's saying how he can get along with people. There's a difference when you can get along with people in business versus getting along with people in politics. When he says get along with people, he as a businessman knows when he goes into that negotiation, he knows what he wants out of the negotiation right from the get-go. And the first rule is to assume the sale. He assumes that what he wants, he's going to get. And when the deal is struck, the deal is only made when two people think they got the better of each other. The other side thinks they got something. You think you got something. But in business, both of you know that you got what you wanted. And that's what he's talking about. He's got to be able to sit down and say, look, this is the way it's going to be, whether you like it or not. And if you don't like it, I'm going to go to the American people.
Well, like I said about Trump.
That's a huge bargaining chip.
Yeah, a win-win for Trump is, I win. I don't care if you win too, but as long as I win, that's a win-win. And that's the Trump
philosophy. I'll tell you what, I heard Morning Joe this morning real quick. I was listening to Morning Joe this morning on MSNBC, and he went down a list of mayors since 1977, since Trump started building and doing things in Manhattan. He went down a litany of mayors that he's had to deal with to get projects done in that city and to get business done in that city. And if you think that this is just a naive politician, new to the game, who doesn't understand how it works, that has been where everybody has just totally underestimated the man. You can't build $1 billion empire worldwide, a $10 billion empire worldwide, and not know how to deal with these people. And he does. I believe when he goes in there, he says, look, build this wall. I don't care what the heck you're talking about.
Yeah,
give me the money.
Absolutely.
Get this wall built. The people want it. Now get it done. Or else, and watch, here's the or else I'm going on my Twitter right now and social media, and I'm going to tweet out, and by the way, by this point, it'll be 100 million people following him as president, not 20 million. It'll be 100 million. I'm going to go tell the country that you're not helping me and you're not cooperating. That's going to be massive. Massive.
That would be actually awesome. Well, you know what?
We already got a guy
who does that. Well, Reagan was a great communicator, and he used the media spectacularly.
Thank you.
There was no
Google. There was no nothing.
There was nothing.
There was nothing.
There was nothing. But there is a person who taught us the value of social media and alternative media, and he won twice.
Thanks.
Obama. Look, the Cruz people, all the other candidates, they're following the same old mantra that does not work anymore.
Thank you.
That's why you don't hear from them. That's why they're losing. I do have to go up against a hard break here. I do thank you for the call once again. Call back anytime, my friend. Good to hear from you.
God bless you.
And we'll be right back.
On January 21st, 9 p.m., controversial and international rapper-songwriter Corey Preem will be performing his latest single, Blame It On My Mama, from his latest mixtape, There's Heaven and Then There's Hell. Hip-hop royalty will be in attendance, and a special guest is expected to stop in for a performance. It all happens at the Drome at 85 Avenue A, New York, New York. Tickets just $15. Say Blame It On My Mama at the door to possibly win a free pair of Samsung Oculus Rift virtual reality glasses. Visit CoreyPreem.com for more information. That's CoreyPreme.com.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. And then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-616-8010. That's 1-800-616-8010. Again, 1-800-616-8010. Call now.
Did you ever look at the stains in your coffee cup and then realize that's exactly what happens to your teeth? Power Swabs is the 5-minute solution to get your teeth white without visiting the dentist. This is Ben Gordon with Power Swabs, and if your teeth are stained from coffee, tea, or smoking, all it takes is 5 minutes with Power Swabs. In 5 minutes, you'll see an average of 2 shades whiter teeth, and in 7 days, 6 shades. It's clinically proven to whiten natural teeth as well as caps and veneers. The secret is a tooth detergent that was developed by Dr. Martin Ginniger that lifts stains off of your teeth. Best of all, there's no messy strips or trays that you have to leave in your mouth for an hour. Just swab your teeth for 5 minutes and you're done. To try Power Swabs risk-free, call 1-800-291-5140. That's 1-800-291-5140. I guarantee your bright white smile will have your friends talking about how great you look. Try it risk-free today. 1-800-291-5140. That's 1-800-291-5140.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
Start training for a new career in as little as 18 days. National EMS Institute's innovative boot camp program will train you for a new career. Learn to respond to emergency situations and become a certified EMT in just 18 days. National EMS Institute guarantees 100% job placement. Visit www.nationaleMSinstitute.com today to learn more about our 18-day boot camp. Or call us at 1-800-497-6732. National EMS Institute.com.
When you're ready to take the edge off a hectic day, I suggest you start with a little music from Franz Black.
I guess there's lots of ways to look at things that don't seem right.
No Worries has just been released on iTunes and Amazon.
It's gonna be alright.
You can find Franz Black and his music on his website, franzblack.com. Franz black.com.
It's gonna be alright.
called this number because it was to call into your show between 9 and 12, and I'm 61 years old. I'm a woman, and I'm proud to support Trump. I know he's a bit, can be a bit crass at times, but he loves America, and he would do a great job for our country. He would work hard. That's been proven over the years. He's a hard worker. You could see how he raised his children. And I just think that his heart is in it. He's funding himself. And what person would do that if they really didn't truly believe that they can help our country?
I believe that Donald thinks that he can help.
Yes.
Excuse me. That look, you don't run for the office of the presidency of the United States of America just simply to fulfill some sort of ego, some sort of large ego, because it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of hard work, it takes a lot of money, especially for a person who's spending his own money.
That's right. And he won't even take a pay. And what president has done that?
You know,
what
people
president has ever said that?
This is an unprecedented type of thing. Here's a guy who says, do not send me money. I don't want to use your money or any of your money. I'm going to spend all my money. And Donald Trump has raised nearly $5 million by telling people not to send him money.
Right.
That means there are people out there that really believe in him enough that they're going to write him a check.
Right, and you know, all these political pundits that say that he's not good for the conservative party, and who are they to speak for the people of America, the people that are supporting him? Don't you think that they should they should look in the mirror at themselves, because they have been part of the political scene for how many years? I don't even know, but it's quite a few.
Well, it's against human nature to blame oneself for massive problems. I mean, it's human nature is to first point fingers at somebody else. Well, it's not my fault. But they look. You gotta understand. Donald Trump is an enigma, much like Ronald Reagan was, and because Ronald Reagan drew from all walks of life. He drew from the rich, middle class, and the poor. He drew from Republicans, centrists, independents, and Democrats. We call them Reagan Democrats. And this is exactly what Donald Trump is doing right now. Now, what's really scary to the right, I should say the blue blood Republicans, and what's scary to some ultra-conservatives and the Democrats, is that Donald Trump, even before the general election starts to kick off, the campaign for the general election, before the nominees have been decided, Donald Trump is already attracting independents and Democrats. So much so that I'm seeing there seems to be a trend where independents and Democrats are actually switching parties, registering Republicans so they can vote in their caucus or primary for Trump.
Right.
People did that for Reagan.
Well, like I said, I see it in his heart, and people have to understand also that, he says these terrible things, about people, but you have to understand he's in a fight. He's in a fight to get the nomination, and that is his way of becoming number one.
Well, he's a showman. He knows exactly what he says is going to give her. When he's out there saying, my supporters are so loyal, I could stand out in the middle of the street and shoot someone and they'd still support me. He knows exactly what he's saying and doing. Trust me, it is not off the cuff as many people think it is. Donald Trump is actually a well-rehearsed person. He knows what works and what doesn't work. He's experimented plenty to find out and know what exactly works and what doesn't work. No, he doesn't mean he's actually going to shoot somebody out in the middle of the street and that nobody will support him.
No, of course not.
He's making a point.
Exactly.
And that point is obviously strikes a chord and people pay attention to it. Because what good is making a point if nobody pays attention to you?
But once he wins or, gets over this hump for, that he's got to, get the nomination, then he'll start pounding whoever the nominee is for the Democrats.
Oh, that I have no doubt. But let me ask you something.
People have to understand that he's just in a fight, and he's a street fighter. And guess what? A lot of us are street fighters. And just because he's a billionaire, it doesn't mean he doesn't have that street fight in him. In other words, like everybody says, because he didn't stay in he stayed in that Holiday Inn Express. He can stay anywhere. I believe that. He can stay anywhere.
Wait. People, people are complaining that he stayed at a Holiday Inn Express. Now, if he would have stayed,
they're saying, but he would never stay at a Holiday Inn Express. Yes, he could.
Well,
yes, he could, and he did.
Why would they would complain and call him out for staying in a suite at a Marriott or something. So the guy can't win either way, and I think the voters understand that. Oh, he stayed at a Holiday Inn Express. Well, first of all,
what?
Holiday Inn Express, they're not that bad, and they're not really all that cheap.
Holiday Inn Express.
I've stayed in them. They're very nice, very comfortable.
Well, I'm just saying. So why can't he? And he proved that he could. And kudos for him. Kudos for him.
Absolutely.
That's what I say.
Now, let me ask you, what drew you to Donald? What is his policy that has drawn you to him that you think that he has the right answer to?
Oh, definitely the immigration issue.
Okay, so that's
immigration.
big.
The immigration issue, in America's mind, we worry about that. I know, I'm retired now, but I know when I worked as a nurse, I would see a lot of people that came here from from overseas. And they would take our jobs, our nursing jobs.
And
they didn't have to take a test. They took a test over, where they were. They, passed their RNs, and they come here, and they really don't have to. They just get automatically, they just get their RNs because they passed it over in their country. And we poor Americans are struggling to find a job, and it just doesn't hit, the Mexican. It's all over. It's, everywhere with this immigration stuff. That it really needs to, be revamped. I'm all for immigrants. I am a descendant of European immigrants.
Well, most of us are, yes.
Yeah, and I'm all for immigration. But my grandparents came over here, all of them, from Europe, from Italy, and they came in with a visa. They came in off the boat. They came in with the visa. They had nothing. They worked hard. They were, poor, but they were proud to be in America. They didn't come over illegally. They didn't come over, and ask for, whatever their government is giving them. Free housing, no taxes for 5 years, the whole 9 yards. We were proud. We were proud.
There's a lot of immigrants that still come here that believe, and this is one thing I always take liberals to task on, is that if this country is so terrible, why do so many people still want to come here, legally and illegally? Why do people risk their lives to come here? They're not, well,
because they can't get the freedoms that we get here.
And do you think Donald Trump understands that mentality?
That people still want to come here? Yes, I do think he understands that. I do. I just think he wants to get all the immigrants that are here illegally. And I don't know how they'll do it. I have no idea. But, give them a certain time, maybe a 6 month time to register that they came in here illegally, and then they would be investigated or whatever they would do, see if they're law abiding or if they're, if they have records, and that's probably the way they would do it, I would think. But, you can't have people coming here illegally. You just can't.
Well, that's why they're called illegals.
Right.
Look, we
not undocumented. Illegal.
No, Donald doesn't say undocumented, does he?
No. And he shouldn't, because they're not here undocumented. They're here illegally. They try to bypass the system. And that's illegal.
And
that's a federal offense.
They do a good job of bypassing the system when you have somebody in office who doesn't really care to find them.
Well, you know what? This has been going on for years and years and years between Republican presidents and Democratic presidents. They just turned the other way. That's what they did. And now that Donald has taken the bull by the horns, they're like, oh my God. Said what most of us have been saying for years about illegal immigration. But like I said, if they come here and they're here legally, I have no problem with them, doing the right thing. I don't know what else is done, when you come to be a legal American. I don't know what you have to do. You go to school or learn, the Constitution or whatever, but there's a lot of people that do that.
Well, and that would be a good start. Now, do you think that Donald
and that's what America should be.
Do you think Donald would be tough on terrorism, on terrorists?
Oh, I do. That's another thing. I do. And, I do. I think he'd be very tough. I don't know if he would go to war because a lot of people don't want war. But I think he'd be real tough on them. I think he'd go over there and be very, very tough.
So
yes, I do. And I think he would bring jobs back to America. I think I think he would do very well for our country. He would fight for us. I don't get that feeling from the other guys. He would fight for us.
And
the other guys, they're like, trying to be politically correct, and they're just part of the problem.
Now, do you like that aspect of him being politically incorrect?
I've never really thought about it, but there's a lot of things that he says that are politically incorrect that I say, yes, I'm I feel that way also.
So you believe that him being politically incorrect actually gives you a better insight to who he is and what he's going to be like as president?
Well, I don't know. I don't know what I just think he would fight for us. That's in my heart, that's how I feel. I feel like he'll fight for us. Us, America. Nobody else. America.
And when is your primary?
My primary is June the 7th.
Oh, you guys are late.
Yeah, we're in New Jersey.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
now, speaking of New Jersey, now, of course, your man is running, and you're not supporting Christie?
Oh, let me be clear. Whoever gets the nomination would get my support. But Governor Christie, I feel he's a great man, too. I do. And if he shoots up in the polls, I would support him, too. Because he's another one that would work hard.
Do you think he's... Now, people are watching television. There's a lot of negative ads about Chris Christie. Do you think he's done a fairly decent job as governor of New Jersey?
Me? I think he did. Let me just try to, the bridge thing, that wasn't his fault. No matter what anybody says, that wasn't his fault. That was his workers' fault. He fired him immediately. What do you want the guy to do? He can't be everywhere. You got to trust your core people, in your administration that work for you, that they're going to do what you would do. You can't be everywhere. So I don't believe the bridge thing was Governor Christie's fault. And as far as the New Jersey's taxes and all that, at least he didn't raise taxes. I mean, the Democrats they ruined this state. They lined their pockets. They just absolutely ruined this state. That's how I feel. And I think he came in, he told it like it was, and, he hurt some people, but it had to be done. It had to be done for New Jersey.
Well,
that's how I feel about Governor Christie.
That makes a lot of sense too. I mean, because we don't hear a lot of people talking positive about Governor Christie, so it's kind of nice to hear somebody who actually lives there and who's living under his governance to actually explain a few things to us, as well as a person who is firmly on the Trump train.
Yes, I am.
All right.
Yes, I am. And you're from New Hampshire?
I am.
Okay.
We're up here in the cold,
New Hampshire. I hope. Oh, it's a beautiful state. Beautiful. We were in Maine in December, and we stopped. On the way home, we drove to Maine from New Jersey, and we drove through New Hampshire. It was beautiful. It's a beautiful state, and I hope all the people in New Hampshire vote for Donald Trump.
Well, so far he's in the lead.
Yes.
Thank you very much for your call. You were wonderful. It's nice to hear from.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye. And another Trump train rider, if you will. But you know what? She gave us a little insight on her governor, Chris Christie. See, that's all it takes, people. That's all it takes. Just start expressing yourself about the candidate of your choice. And, I didn't ask her if Chris Christie was her second choice. But obviously, she's a smart lady. And she understands that anybody on the Republican ticket would be better than anybody on the Democratic ticket right now. That would include, look, I mean, I understand that there are people that have their special interest and they have their own candidate, but what doesn't work anymore is all this negative stuff pounding somebody else. I think what people want, even if it's just a broad brush, broad stroke, give us something positive. Donald Trump says, build the wall. Build that wall. Well, nobody's, we don't care at this particular point how he's going to build it. How is he going to get Mexico to pay for it if they're actually going to pay for it? The point is that he's got the broad stroke. He's got the basic plan and premise that others either did not say, and some of them are saying it now, but they didn't say before. They didn't say it. Donald Trump was saying, build the wall. You didn't have a bunch of, voters running around saying, okay, Donald, now you're saying build the wall, but exactly down to the penny, Mr. Trump, how much is it going to cost? And how are you going to build it? What materials? You're going to use brick? You're going to use steel? You're going to use concrete? What are you going to do? How are you going to build the wall, Mr. Trump? And how are you going to get the Mexican government to pay for it? You're going to institute tariffs or export-import taxes? Are you going to sue them in World Court? How are you going to? No, nobody cares about that yet. And as I've said, you can't give minute details until you're actually in office, because there's a bunch of information that you're not privy to until you are the president. So you can't, you can't, you can talk about, well, we're going to go, he says we're going to bomb the heck out of them. Well, Americans like to hear that. Not that we actually are warmongering and we want to go over there and bomb the you-know-what out of everybody. Because I hear all this stuff all the time. Well, Rod, you can't bomb everybody. You're going to kill the innocent people. No, innocent women and children. I didn't hear Donald Trump say anything about bombing innocent women and children. But again, he can't tell us exactly where, when, and how he's going to bomb something or somebody, because he's not the president, so he doesn't have that information. And that goes for all the candidates, not just Donald. So I don't buy this notion that the lamestream media is trying to put out there, well, you got to be specific. I don't see you asking a Democrat how to be that specific like you're asking Republicans, and especially Donald Trump. Give me a break. It's just not going to happen until you're able to be in a position where you have that sensitive information that only the president has.
Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Sign him up for the Box of Bait Club and he'll never be hungry again. The Box of Bait Club is a brand new dream come true for every fisherman. Something new and different in your tackle box every month. Every month, another excuse to get outside and do what you love. Don't let this one get away. The Box of Bait Club is currently accepting a limited number of pre-orders with subscriptions starting at $39.95 per month. Find out more now. Log on to boxofbaitclub.com.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. And then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washing washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-616-8010. That's 1-800-616-8010. Again, 1-800-616-8010. Call now.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich? Working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare? Having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom133.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom133.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom, the number 133.com. Go to freedom133.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom133.com.
Attention business owners. We know that owning a business means getting things done right now. So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company. General Steel. We can design a building for your business quickly and save you thousands of dollars. That's right, thousands. You may think General Steel only builds large projects or that you can't afford General Steel quality. Well, check these prices. How about a 40 by 60 foot building for under $22,000? Or even a 50 by 100 for under $35,000? That's right, a 5,000 square foot building for under $35,000. And these buildings all have General Steel quality. Best of all, you can still order a building and have it delivered in time to build this year. How's that for right now? So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company. General Steel.
800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. That's 800-393-5756.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
Boy, man, I had a rough night's sleep. Boy, I got a letter from the IRS yesterday and I just couldn't sleep. Man, I'm dying here. Somebody help me.
IRS problems affect more than just your finances. If you're ready to take back control of your life and you owe more than $10,000, you need to call the tax doctor. Their expert staff can immediately protect you from the IRS and state collectors and get you the best possible tax settlement guaranteed. The IRS has recently released new programs geared in helping struggling taxpayers, where you may qualify to settle your tax debt and wipe out up to 85% or more of what you currently owe. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, call the tax doctor right now. See if you qualify to pay less. 800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. Again, 800-989-1694.
You want to know what time it is? It's time to bring the rain.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Good morning, all of you wonderful ecclesiastites and all you wonderful liberty lovers all across the globe. It is I, your lovable host, El Rod, coming to you live from my bunkerized home studio for hour number 2 from somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire, where the state motto is live free or die. It is not big government or bust. As we move along into hour number 2, the fastest 2 hours on internet talk radio. You know, the number that you can call here is 603-835-3224. Again, the call-in number is 603-835-3224. Now, you know, this is a talk show. And I got a message yesterday talking about one particular listener, and I think he's in the minority. Well, you know what? I don't know if it's a he or she. The reason why I say I don't know if it's a he or she, simply because of their first name, Tracy. Now, Tracy can be a guy, or Tracy can be... You know, you parents have got to be careful out there. Stop naming your kid these unisex names, because you confuse the hell out of everybody else. You know, there are times when like Tracy, for instance. You think, they go for a job interview and you think you might be talking to, looking at the resume that it might be a guy and it ends up being a girl. I mean, that just throws people off. It puts your kid behind the 8 ball. So think twice before you name your kid a unisex name. And think twice before giving, this is America. Think twice before giving your male child a female name. And like Kim. There are guys named Kim. Do you know how confusing that is? And I'm not talking, they're not Asians either. You would think, well, maybe they're Asian, Rod, and from off the boat in Asia their parents are. No, we're talking, been here a few generations, totally, completely Caucasian white people name their child boy Kim. And stop naming your daughter Michael. It's Michelle in the United States, for crying out loud, not Michael. You know how confusing that is? Michael, everybody expects Michael to be a boy. And then here comes this long blonde-haired, blue-eyed, cute little thing that's a girl. And everybody's like, well, where's Michael? I'm Michael. No, you're not. I mean, it's just terrible. It's like you're playing... parents can be cruel. They often do play bad lifetime jokes on their kids when they name them. Some parents have done that. And it's really, you can tell by their name. African Americans are probably, there was a segment in time in the African American community where that was just the worst. I mean, they were making up names left and right. Means absolutely. You ask them, well, what does that mean? I don't know what that means. I just like the sound of it. La Shaniqua. Where'd you get that? Really? Did you just decide that you wanted to combine like 5 different names because you couldn't decide which one? And you know what's really kind of interesting is that it's kind of I know people have said that those types of names are for African Americans, for blacks. You want to know how surprised I was when a woman I met hadn't met her before, didn't know her name was LaShonda. Yeah, you got it. She was white. A white girl named LaShonda. Now, you want to talk about even confusing this brother? I mean, whoa. Can you imagine trying to do online dating? You could. It's kind of like, what was it? What's that woman's name that thinks she was black along with Sean King? You got people who are pretending to be black. Well, I guess if they have a black name, they can get away with it until somebody sees their picture. But look, folks, you can name your kid whatever you want to name them. Sir, you really can. But names do have meanings. They do have repercussions. Yeah, it's great to be, to be different. To be sure, what I think one of the top boys' names now is Jacob, And what is Amanda or something is like one of the top. I understand, you don't want your kid to be in a classroom with 5 other Jacobs. I get it. But at the same time, you also have to be careful that you don't make them so unique that they're singled out. And they can't, they see, anonymity is not such a bad thing. Everybody wants I don't care if you're the world's biggest star. There's a little bit of part of you that likes a little bit of privacy if you're British, and anonymity. And it makes it very difficult if you have one of the world's most unique names. I mean, think of the Zappa family. What is it, Moon Unit and Dweezil? Who names their kid that kind of stuff? Seriously. I don't know what Frank Zappa was thinking. Well, obviously he was probably, I don't know looking at the man and looking at, well, I mean, he's passed away, but looking at the music that he made and his stage presence and everything way back then, I would say that he was on something, because just about everybody in the industry that he was in back then was on something. What was it? Quaaludes and LSD was a big thing back in the 60s and 70s? I don't know. What is a Quaalude anyway? I remember kids talking about it in the 80s. I don't know what a Quaalude is. Call me naive, I guess. I mean, I know it's an illicit, illegal drug. I don't know exactly what it is, though. I never learned what a Quaalude was. Wasn't interested. I just knew it was something that you didn't touch and you didn't take. But I know people who did. And most of us over the age of 30 probably know somebody who's taken. Well, now that the drug of choice is back is heroin. And that heroin and coke was big in the 70s and 80s. It was they were nasty. Well, now we got crack, but coke and heroin, they were nasty back then. They were devastating. And now these, and now you got La Shaniqua and Dweezil and everybody else doing the same thing that their parents did. I don't know why people think that they can handle stuff that other people have clearly proven cannot be handled by another human being. The Superman complex, I think. That's what it's got to be. But that's one of my pet peeves is these really ridiculous names. I mean, to us, I know if you're coming from a foreign country, we don't understand other languages, so that naming your kid in your mother tongue is one thing. But just to come out and name your kid something freakishly stupid, I'm sorry. Dweezil's Apple, I don't know what he's doing now, but he seemed like a very nice young man way back when he was a young man. And he seemed fairly normal compared to his father. His sister, Moon Unit, again, seemed fairly normal compared to her father, Frank Zappa. So, but why would you do that to your child? Why? I don't understand. And celebrities are known to do that. I guess they just feel that they have to be different and unique. Kanye West. Really? Northwest? That's what you named your kid? I mean, what the king and queen of hip hop and rap, Jay-Z and B. Hey B, let's name our kid Blue Ivy. I mean, just really unbelievable. Hey, think about it. You want your child to be, everybody says, well, my child can grow up to be president. Do you think we're ever going to have a person, a president named Dweezil or LaShonda or Blue Ivy or Northwest? I mean, really? You're consigning them to a particular type of industry. It's, look, dads learned a long time ago that it was you probably should not name your daughter Barbie, because that was going to pigeonhole her into certain industries that you might not necessarily be proud of. So today we don't have a lot of girls named Barbie. And then when we hear the name that a woman is named Barbie, doesn't matter what sex you are or what sex you're into, you probably think of one or two things that Barbie does for a living. So, yeah, names, that's just societal norms. Names have meaning. They really do. Speaking of meaning and names having meaning, I got to tell you, I'm Microsoft. Microsoft is anything but micro or soft. I thought that Microsoft wasn't supporting Windows XP anymore. Well, why is it that my computer that runs, my old computer, it's a decade old now, but why is it whenever I have this thing on, it automatically updates? Your computer's been updated. Every one of my computers constantly updates, and I was told, and I'm going to do this, to take them all off of auto updates, because when you don't know what they're doing when they auto update. And this is what happened this morning. It auto update and it changed some configurations and stuff. I don't want that happening. And when you try to fix this stuff, like I said, Microsoft it's this humongous program that is very invasive in your computer, and it's not soft. It's not easy to use. I know they keep saying, well, it's easier than ever to. Well, it's not easy. I mean, if you're a computer engineer and you know all the techie stuff and inside stuff and all the quirky stuff, then it's probably easy for you. But for the regular everyday person like you and me, it ain't that easy. And there are a lot of people out there that say that. Yeah, which is why so many people try to go over to Apple products, because Apple seems to be easier to use, I suppose. One thing I know is that they don't have as many updates as Microsoft does. And so look, if there are no more, if you're not supporting XP, how come there's still updates? And some people say, well, it's not Microsoft. But really? Well, it says your computer, Microsoft just had an update. And I don't know why anybody would be attacking an old computer. I mean, XP is like long since gone and dead. Why would they be attacking an XP computer? I'm not upgrading it. I don't even think it can handle any of the new Microsoft software. It doesn't have the computing power. Because, Microsoft programs, they're just huge. You want to talk about having something slow down? I mean, I just use it for certain types of things because it has certain programs on it that I still like that you can't get anymore. So I use those programs every once in a while that, with all the wonderful, with the internet stuff, you can move files from computer to computer very easy. You don't even have to have a flash drive or anything like that. Just send it over the out into the cloud, and you pull it back down from the cloud. But that's the only reason I still keep this thing. But just to do that, it still updates. And the two newer ones, forget it. I mean, I get what they're trying. Microsoft, they want you to move over to Windows 10. I'm not doing it. If I buy a new machine and it has Windows 10 on it, great. But I'm not updating to Windows 10. And I wish they would stop pushing it. Because none of my current computers is going to ever run Windows 10. Guaranteed. So they need to stop doing all these updates and then reminding me during these updates to go ahead, because they're changing stuff that I don't want changed in my configurations. And half the time, I got to follow a cheat sheet in order to get the configurations I want. So when something changes, I don't know exactly where it was changed in the first place. Then I got to go find the cheat sheet in order to change it back. That's a pain in the butt. And trying to stop them from doing automatic updates, well, that's also nearly impossible to do. No wonder people get upset. There was a story not too long ago asking the question, when you buy your computer, do you really own it? Because everybody says, well, you don't own the software. You're leasing it. Really, I'm paying all that money to lease something. And you're telling me that, I'm buying it. I'm owning it. Isn't it a little bit, misleading? I walk into Best Buy or I walk into Staples and I say, I want to buy a computer. Now, if I didn't want to buy one, I'd walk in and say, I want to lease a computer. They're two different things. But you're telling me when I buy a computer, I don't really own it. Well, you own the hardware, Rod, not the software that runs it. Well, I'm buying the software too. You're just leasing it, Rod. You're leasing it. Well, they don't tell me that when I'm buying the damn machine. Hey, look, I cannot blame the computer companies and software companies for doing things the way they do them. No, they developed it. They have a right to put it out there to the market however they want to. But what I think that they have an obligation to do is to give you full disclosure up front, not mislead you, especially when you're asking. Do we have to be lawyers in order to get the right information, the right answers to the questions? We shouldn't have to be attorneys. We should be able to walk into a store and honestly ask and tell somebody, I want to buy a computer. And that person fully understand that what we're asking for is not just an empty blank machine, but of course we want the software, and that we want to be able to take that home and own it. That's it. We always talk about people not being clear. I think it's kind of amazing how we always blame, politicians for not being clear and upfront. And yet we accept things being unclear and not upfront every day. All the time. And then we get surprised when a politician is unclear. Are you kidding me? When was the last time you got clarification up front on anything? Try buying a house. Well, forget that now. Try renting a place. Have you seen how long lease contracts are now for an apartment? Try getting clarification on that. It's absolutely unbelievable. There are places that are, literally the leasing agreement or leasing contract, and that's what it is, a contract, is multiple pages long. There are people that remember that a lease was one page. That's not so anymore. I don't even think that those storage units, those storage units, you store your stuff here in our unit type, I don't even think their storage unit leasing contracts are a page anymore. They're more than a page. Nothing is upfront and clear. And yet we want to complain when a politician isn't upfront and clear with us. Well, they're only taking our cue from our everyday life. Really, they really are. The things are so topsy-turvy now. Everything is backwards and upside down. It's like this story from the Federalist. I'm sure you've probably heard. It came out yesterday. This is and it was in my paper pile, and I wanted to discuss it yesterday, but didn't have time. But here it is today. Houston grand jury indicts David Daleiden. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. I've never heard it pronounced. Daleiden. For organ trafficking, but issues no charges against Planned Parenthood. You know the undercover videos that he caught all these Planned Parenthood employees trafficking or trying to traffic baby parts, aborted baby parts? You remember the one where the doctor, I guess she was a doctor, said, "Yeah, I need to buy I want to buy a Lamborghini." Well, Planned Parenthood and none of those people were indicted by the grand jury. both of them, but one of the people who were involved in the undercover sting journalism, basically, was indicted for organ he wasn't buying body parts. No money actually changed hands. He was asking questions, getting these people to actually admit what they do. So now, yeah, it's the old story. Shoot the messenger because you hate the message, even though the messenger didn't create the message. I mean, this is absolutely insane. This is even in Texas, folks. Texas. You have a great... Now, the backstory of this, of course, it's not upfront and clear until you read the story, and then it becomes a little bit more clear. But evidently, the prosecuting attorney in this particular case was also a member of the Planned Parenthood board. So who do you think he's going to back? Who do you think he is going to back? Well, obviously hey, it's kind of like, Michelle Obama. Well, Hillary Clinton, the Rose Law Firm. Michelle Obama in that Chicago hospital. It would be like Michelle Obama stinging, after making all that money off of that hospital without even having to really work a lot. Running in and saying, well, this hospital sucks, this hospital stinks, and all the people on the board are criminals, and she supported them. Be kind of hard for a prosecutor who served on the board to all of a sudden say, well, yeah, we're going to indict Planned Parenthood for trafficking baby parts because he was on the board. You think he would have known about stuff like that? But a grand jury in Harris County, Texas, returned 2 charges yesterday afternoon against one of the participants in the videos, David Deleden, the activist who planned and organized the undercover sting videos. Although the grand jury allegedly investigated Planned Parenthood, yeah, right. No charges were brought against the nation's largest abortion provider, whose executives were shown in multiple videos attempting to sell trafficked organs and other body parts harvested from aborted babies. Now, as we all know, one Planned Parenthood executive, while haggling over the prices of aborted baby organs, noted that she needed to get the right price because she wanted to buy a Lamborghini. Well, I want to buy a Lamborghini too, but I'm not going to sell human beings just to get it. Now, according to a press release from the Office of Harris County District Attorney's Office, which was provided to the Federalist, where I'm getting the story, Deleden was charged with the purchase and sale of human organs, a misdemeanor, and with tampering with a governmental record, a felony. What governmental record? The video? Government didn't make the video. No, Sandra Merritt, one of Deleden's associates, was also charged with tampering with a governmental record. The grand jury stated, press release stated, this grand jury cleared Planned Parenthood of breaking the law. Now, folks, I don't know about you, but it would seem to me that if you're trafficking in baby parts, which is a federal offense, It would assume to me, I would assume that, you were probably breaking the law at that point. Just me.
On January 21st, 9 p.m., controversial and international rapper-songwriter Corey Preem will be performing his latest single, Blame It On My Mama, from his latest mixtape, There's Heaven and Then There's Hell. Hip-hop royalty will be in attendance, and a special guest is expected to stop in for a performance. It all happens at the Jerome at 85 Avenue A, New York, New York. Tickets just $15. Say Blame It On My Mama at the door to possibly win a free pair of Samsung Oculus Rift virtual reality glasses. Visit CoreyPreem.com for more information. That's CoreyPreme.com.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. And then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-616-8010. That's 1-800-616-8010. Again, 1-800-616-8010. Call now.
Did you ever look at the stains in your coffee cup and then realize that's exactly what happens to your teeth? Power Swabs is the 5-minute solution to get your teeth white without visiting the dentist. This is Ben Gordon with Power Swabs, and if your teeth are stained from coffee, tea, or smoking, all it takes is 5 minutes with Power Swabs. In 5 minutes, you'll see an average of 2 shades whiter teeth, and in 7 days, 6 shades. It's clinically proven to whiten natural teeth as well as caps and veneers. The secret is a tooth detergent that was developed by Dr. Martin Ginniger that lifts stains off of your teeth. Best of all, there's no messy strips or trays that you have to leave in your mouth for an hour. Just swab your teeth for 5 minutes and you're done. To try Power Swabs risk-free, call 1-800-291-5140. That's 1-800-291-5140. I guarantee your bright white smile will have your friends talking about how great you look. Try it risk-free today. 1-800-291-5140. That's 1-800-291-5140.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
Start training for a new career in as little as 18 days. National EMS Institute's innovative boot camp program will train you for a new career. Learn to respond to emergency situations and become a certified EMT in just 18 days. National EMS Institute guarantees 100% job placement. Visit www.nationaleMSinstitute.com today to learn more about our 18-day boot camp. Or call us at 1-800-497-6732. National EMS Institute.com.
When you're ready to take the edge off a hectic day, I suggest you start with a little music from Franz Black.
I guess there's lots of ways to look at things that don't seem right.
No Worries has just been released on iTunes and Amazon.
It's gonna be alright.
You can find Friends Black and his music on his website, friendsblack.com. F-R-A-N-Z black.com.
It's gonna be alright.
603-835-3224. That's the number to call if you want to join me here on the Rod Eccles Show. As we keep marching on. Gotta love this new stuff. Love the new bumper music. Got some more new bumper stuff coming too that'll be entering the rotation. Some of it you're gonna be able to dance to, by the way. I'm sure you'll like that. New York Times. Anybody believe the New York Times is a conservative rag mag? No, I didn't think so. It's not a conservative rag bag. Not at all. Depraved indifference towards Flint. Now keep this in mind, because if you only read the New York Times on this, and it's an opinion piece, and not one person is taking credit for this, and you gotta wonder why. But it's the credit. The penning credit goes to the editorial board. So in other words, evidently more than one person contributed to the construction and writing of this piece. And of course they're going to absolutely put the blame on the current governor of the state of Michigan, Rick Snyder. Which now, don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna give Rick Snyder a complete pass on this. Absolutely not, because there are some of the things that he's said and done that are absolutely recorded, that you just can't deny that he definitely did some stuff and said some stuff that, as governor, or as just basically a human being, he probably shouldn't have said or done, but he did. So there's 274 pages of emails that were released under pressure on Wednesday by Governor Rick Snyder, and they're all talking about how this guy was, trying to keep these emails from being released. Well, hello, what do we got with the Clintons? We still haven't gotten all their emails released. Hillary Clinton, who was having a coughing attack at an event the other day, that's a separate story. They're questioning her health again. I'm not questioning Hillary's physical health. I'm questioning her mental health. That woman's not all there. I mean, really? And Obama just said that she's wicked smart. Where did he? Well, he did spend time up in Boston, Harvard, and Yale and stuff, I guess. But he's not from New England. I don't even say wicked very often. Where does he get off saying? The guy's a chameleon. He's a snake. He definitely tries to be something that he's not. See, I'm still trying to figure out where Obama picked up the urban accent when he grew up in Hawaii and Indonesia. Is there, I don't know, any urban accents in Hawaii? I know they don't talk like inner city Chicagoans in Indonesia. Just wondering. But in any case, so all these emails, 274 pages of emails were released, and there's no doubt that Flint, Michigan, has some water problems. But they're trying to play it off as if the governor is racist because the majority of Flint residents are black and they're poor. Well, first of all, this is not a problem that happened. They make it sound like all of a sudden overnight the water source for Flint, Michigan, was poisoned. Just overnight. This has not been an ongoing case. This has not been an ongoing issue for years and years and years, decades even, in a state and a city that is run by liberal Democrats. And Not only that, but the majority of the past 30 years not only been run by Democrats, but black Democrats. And somehow now, because the black Democrats who've been running the city have allowed their water source to be polluted and are charging an arm and a leg to its residents now for water, and who bankrupted the city of Flint, are now going to blame a supposedly white racist governor. Y'all must think we stupid, to put it in black colloquial speak. By the way, you ever notice sometimes how people do that? Even white people. You ever notice how white people all of a sudden, this is big. You know, when you, can I ask this question? Why is it that if you're a non-Asian and you try to talk to somebody in an Asian accent that you're racist? Well, geez, that's kind of racist, isn't it? You keep talking like that. But if you somehow imitate, well, Hollywood's doing it a lot. If you're a white person imitating an urban accent, if you will, then that's cool, even funny, not racist, all that kind of. You see it all the time. Hear it all the time. But it's, look, I guess it's okay for me to do that. There's a TV program I've been binging. I had no idea it's been on the air for 4 seasons now, I think. I didn't. I'd never watched it before. But thanks to Hulu, in the middle of my show hole season here, because I don't watch a lot of TV. So when I do, I tend to sit down for a couple hours and just, binge a few episodes at a time of a particular series, if I get into a series. And I've been watching this program called Happy Endings. Now, I must admit, it took me an entire season, 13 episodes, to realize what the title of the program was, Happy Ending. Every single episode ends happy. No matter how it begins, no matter what happens in the middle, no matter what the plot is, at the end of the program, it's half-hour sitcom, which is really like 20 to 25 minutes long, I guess, because of the commercials, is a happy outcome to all the problems that were popped up at the beginning of the program. Thus, happy endings. It always leaves you on a high. I haven't seen an episode yet where it didn't leave you on a high note. Now we know that there have been some comedy programs, some very popular ones, that have ended the show on a down, sour, or serious note. The Cosby Show has done that. Fresh Prince has done that. Friends, the TV show Friends, has done that. You're watching, you're laughing through some of the stuff, through some of the pain and plight, and at the end you're expecting, to be, probably lighthearted, but it ends on a boom, a down note, and and we know this happens a lot because a lot of times when it ends on that, the stage clapping and laughing and cheering, we know that when they end on that down note, there's no clapping. It's silent. I remember Good Times used to be a master of that. The laugh track and the clapping track. But they also introduced other things. I mean, certain times when they were really punching a point home, the audience would be like, ooh. Happy Endings doesn't do that. But I bring it up because oftentimes you got some of the characters are imitating urban accents to be funny. But that's okay because Hollywood is doing it. But wait. Danny DeVito just came out and said that, America is still racist. So my question is, well, does that include you, Danny DeVito? Are you saying you're racist too? And if you're admitting you're racist, why don't you change your behavior and your thought process? See, I love all these people that run around saying, yeah, America's racist. Everybody in America is racist, including yourself. Oh, I'm not racist, though. I'm not racist at all. Everybody else is, but I'm not. So all your colleagues are racist. All your friends are racist. See, when you press them to answer those kind of questions, well, I didn't mean it that way. Well, what exactly did you mean when you said that America and everybody in America is racist? I don't know. It seems to me that you think that you're racist too, and you're not doing anything about it. Hell, we just learned that from some black actors that the Oscars are racist. But the Oscars are in Hollywood. I got a story here about a gay Latino man asking hey, I'm a gay Latino and I'm racist? I suppose so, because the only people who can't be racist are blacks. Look, we've been told that. I'm not making that up. Blacks can't be racist. I don't know why, because, blacks are not the only race, if you will, in this country that has had discrimination foisted upon them, but they're the only minority in this country that cannot be racist. So my question is, I've often asked, well, if you go to Africa and you go to an African country and they have laws or programs or what have you, a society that despises and openly despises white people, does that make them racist? No, blacks can't be racist, but the blacks are the ones in power. They own the country. They're 95% black. The white person is the minority. Oh, white people can't be minorities. This is the kind of mentality that the Democrats in this country have foisted and have tried to export all over the world. Let me be frank with you idiots out there who think that everybody's racist. Let me tell you who the minority is. Let me tell you who the majority is. The majority is not who you think it is. Out of a population of 7 billion people, over 4 billion of them are Asian. And I'm not talking about Indians and Pakistanis who are also Asian. I'm talking about what you consider to be Asian. 4 billion. Now you start tacking on Indians from India. That's another billion. So basically about 5 billion people, more than 5 billion people on this planet are not Caucasian out of 7 billion. Now, I just want to know, who's the minority? Well, Rod, it's not about numbers, man. It's about power. Oh, really? It's about power. So if you're in that African country that's 95% black and that is run by blacks, and the whites are less than 5% of the population, the blacks still aren't racist because the whites aren't in power. We have lost this is why I say words mean things. We've lost the true definition of the word and meaning of racism and racist. Now, all of a sudden, if you don't agree with somebody, you're a racist. I don't know how that ever came to be. Well, I do know how it came to be. So if you're a black person who's dumping on other blacks, who causes their water system to be polluted, who causes their local government to basically go bankrupt, somehow the person who wasn't even in office at the time and who now has to deal with the failure of a Democrat and black Democrats, now this white Republican, because he's trying to deal with it, is racist. Now, I'm not saying he's doing everything right, but he's just automatically racist because, hey, Flint's made up of mostly black people and the governor is white. Well, if he was a Democrat, he wouldn't be a racist. Well, according to Danny DeVito, he would be, because everybody's racist. But wait, everybody can't be racist, Danny, because blacks, they still represent about 13% of the American population. They're not racist. So at least 13% of the people in this country are not racist. So that's not everybody. Oh, wait, well, I guess you have gay Latinos that think that they possibly can't be racist either. Why? Because they're gay and they're Latino. You understand how convoluted and ridiculous all that sounds? I often I ask myself every day, what the hell is going on? It is now to the point where if you disagree with a black man who happens to be president, if you disagree with that black president's policies, you're a racist, even though you disagreed with those exact same policies from a previous Democrat president who happened to be white. But of course, everybody who disagreed with President Clinton wasn't a racist. But since now those same ideas that Republicans didn't like under Clinton, now they don't like them under Obama. Now all of a sudden they're racist. They don't like them because, a black guy said them. Wait a minute, Clinton tried to put forth the same, kind of like Obamacare. We used to call it Hillary Care. Americans didn't like Hillary Care. And then one of the big things about the 2012 election was Romney Care. Well, nobody liked Romney Care either. But all of a sudden, it gets named Obamacare. Oh, you don't like because you racist. You racist. You don't like you just don't want people to have health care because you racist. Well, how is that possible when we opposed Hillary and Romney on the same topic? Folks, I don't understand how we get to that point where all of a sudden, when you disagree with somebody, they're going to the left is going to look at your skin color first to decide whether or not you have a legitimate gripe. Well, let me see now. Hillary Care. I mean, vast amount of Americans didn't like. It was so bad that even minorities didn't like the idea of Hillary Care. Even they were against it. No, but she was a white woman. They didn't like that white woman's ideas, though. Even blacks, Latinos, and Asians didn't like that white woman's ideas, but they weren't racist. No, they were just being selfish because they didn't want everybody to have health care. Y'all don't want people. You want poor people to die. You don't want poor people to have health care. Nobody said that they were racist. And then when the right side of the political aisle attacked Romney Care in Massachusetts, especially during the primaries, nobody said that all the whites and the blacks that were against Romney Care and all the Latinos that were possibly against Romney Care in Massachusetts, nobody said that they were racist. They didn't say they said again, you just want to go with the rich people. You want poor people to not have health care, and you want poor people to die. That's what they said. So under Hillary or Bill Clinton, so under Bill Clinton and Mitt Romney, those people who are against those type of governmental expanded healthcare systems, they just wanted poor people to die. They didn't want to care for poor people. But they weren't racist. Then all of a sudden when Obama proposes the same damn thing, all of a sudden, oh no, it wasn't but we wanted poor people to die, that people who were against it, they didn't want, poor people were left out in the cold. Nobody talked about poor people then. It was all about, oh, you don't like Obama because he's black. Yeah, you racist. You just oppose Obamacare because he's black, and you don't like black people. You racist. Really? And so this is what we're getting from the New York Times editorial board on the total systemic governmental failure of Flint, Michigan when it comes to Flint's water crisis. Oh, y'all don't want us to get clean water from some other source because it's too expensive, and you say it's too expensive because you racist. Because if it were an affluent neighborhood or an affluent city with a bunch of white people, you'd be no. If it were an affluent neighborhood or an affluent city, whether or not they had any black people in it or not, it wouldn't have happened because those people wouldn't have allowed it to happen. Because they wouldn't be taken advantage of by a bunch of Democrats. Let's make that clear. Do you think that those people that ran the city of Flint, those inside the Beltway types of liberal Democrats that ran Flint, Michigan, do you think they're drinking their water? Has anybody asked that question? So when the state has to take over and send somebody in there to try to fix things, and they say, well, it's going to be too damn costly to buy water from some other source, would you now all of a sudden say, what if the governor were black? Oh, yeah, well, if the governor were a black Republican, oh, he and Uncle Tom, man, he a sellout. He's a self-loathing coon. Yeah, that's the new one. If you haven't heard that yet, I cannot, but it's kind of akin to it's really kind of akin to the N-word. Black people, but they're being very disparaging, black people calling other black people coons. Do they realize how offensive that term is? But no, I guess they don't because, well, maybe they do. That's why they're saying it. But they don't realize that they're disparaging themselves by calling one of their own a coon. Well, why not? Because they call each other the N-word. I don't. Because I understand where from that word and verbiage comes from and the meaning behind it. And there is no love when you say, hey, my N-word, what up, my N-word? No. I don't allow people to say that. Hell, I might smack a fool if they say that to me. But you got people running around talking about, well, this person is racist, that person is racist, simply because of why? I don't know why. Do you?
Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Sign him up for the Box of Bait Club and he'll never be hungry again. The Box of Bait Club is a brand new dream come true for every fisherman. Something new and different in your tackle box every month. Every month, another excuse to get outside and do what you love. Don't let this one get away. The Box of Bait Club is currently accepting a limited number of pre-orders with subscriptions starting at $39.95 per month. Find out more now. Log on to boxofbaitclub.com.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. And then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-616-8010. That's 1-800-616-8010. Again, 1-800-616-8010. Call now.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich? Working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare? Having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom133.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom133.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom133.com. Go to freedom133.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom133.com.
Attention business owners. We know that owning a business means getting things done right now. So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company. General Steel. We can design a building for your business quickly and save you thousands of dollars. That's right, thousands. You may think General Steel only builds large projects or that you can't afford General Steel quality. Well, check these prices. How about a 40 by 60 foot building for under $22,000? Or even a 50 by 100 for under $35,000? That's right, a 5,000 square foot building for under $35,000. And these buildings all have General Steel quality. Best of all, you can still order a building and have it delivered in time to build this year. How's that for right now? So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company, General Steel.
800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. 800-393-5756. That's 800-393-5756.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
Boy, man, I had a rough night's sleep. Boy, I got a letter from the IRS yesterday, and I just couldn't sleep. Man, I'm dying here. Somebody help me.
IRS problems affect more than just your finances. If you're ready to take back control of your life and you owe more than $10,000, you need to call the tax doctor. Their expert staff can immediately protect you from the IRS and state collectors and get you the best possible tax settlement guaranteed. The IRS has recently released new programs geared in helping struggling taxpayers, where you may qualify to settle your tax debt and wipe out up to 85% or more of what you currently owe. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, call the tax doctor right now. See if you qualify to pay less. 800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. 800-989-1694. Again, 800-989-1694.
You want to know what time it is? It's time to bring the rain.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Good morning, my fellow Americans and fellow liberty lovers, as well as all you wonderful ecclesiastites out there across the country and globe. It is I, your lovable host, El Rod, coming to you live for hour number 3. Hour number 3. Fastest 3 hours in Internet Talk Radio. Can't believe we're in hour number 3 already. And still broadcasting live from my bunkerized home studio somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire, where the state motto is still, live free or die. It is not big government or bust. And yeah, I checked again this morning, and it hasn't changed. The call-in number this morning, as it is every morning, is 603-835-3224. Still getting a bunch of Trump supporters. Not gonna lie. Kind of like that they're calling in. Not getting any calls from any of the other candidates. Not gonna lie. Don't like that you're not calling in anywhere. Not just here. I don't understand how you can say that you support somebody, but you're too scared, chicken, bark, bark, to talk about them. You know, even Bernie Sanders supporters aren't afraid to call in. Well, they haven't called in here, but they're not afraid to express their opinion about Bernie. Why do you think Bernie is winning? You know, let's do the Charlie Sheen. Winning! I heard somebody say that once. Let's do the Charlie Sheen. So whenever anybody says, do the Charlie Sheen, you know what they're talking about. Hello, winning! Well, I guess you could say that Trump supporters are doing a Charlie Sheen, and rightfully so. CNN new poll, 41%. 4 out of 10 Republicans would vote for Trump. Now, we still got 13 candidates. Now, out of 13 total candidates, that leaves 6 people would vote for any of the other 12. Do you see how lopsided this is becoming? Again, I'm not saying I'm endorsing Trump. I'm just saying, do you folks understand how lopsided this is becoming? Now, I know everything could change, and Trump could implode after Iowa and New Hampshire. I understand that things can, this is politics. Things can change on a dime. But what I'm saying right now is that things, even from the liberal standpoint, and liberals don't want Trump to be the nominee. Don't ever think that they do. They're just like the GOP. They don't want Trump. Why do you think that every single time they think that they've got him saying something stupid, it doesn't affect him at all? In fact, half the time, it increases his rankings, his numbers, his support. They're scratching their head. The lamestream media and the inside the Beltway GOP, the blue blood Republicans, they're all scratching their heads because they can't figure out how to stop this guy. Because every time they throw something at him, it seems like his support goes up. Look, he just said the other day that my supporters are so loyal I can stand out in the middle of the street and shoot somebody and they still support me. And the lamestream media and the GOP thought that they had him finally, and then they come out with a new poll today and his support numbers go up. And you think that look, this is the epitome of stupidity, if you ask me. They keep playing the same play out of the playbook. We're going to trip up Trump if he says this. And when he says, and they have been doing it since July. And it hasn't worked yet. You think that they would say, well, geez, those tactics aren't working. We better come up with something new. No, they don't. Because they have nothing new. All they can do is use the same play over, and they're trying the old tactic. If you tell a lie often enough, then people will believe you. Well, now that is not working. And because it worked so well so often in the past that they haven't had to bother coming up with anything else. And now that isn't working, they don't know what else to do. They realize they can't go negative on Trump because he'd love that. That's just going to give him more press. and his support's going to go up. And they realize that if they think that they catch him in something that is absolutely terrible and politically incorrect, that's going to bring him down. Well, the man, everybody loves him simply because he isn't politically correct. He's killing political correctness. And every time he says something politically incorrect, his support base grows. I'm just saying. And you people, you other people out there on the other Republican candidates, you're still trying to play it safe and PC, and nobody's buying it. And you're not out there, stumping for your person of choice either. So nobody's hearing it. I mean, it's just... Look, you got people. I talk to people constantly. I got people running around here trying to figure out what is the press trying to, is the lamestream media trying to foist another candidate on the people of New Hampshire? Because we're trying to figure out how the hell is Kasich polling in the number 2 spot behind Donald Trump when nobody admits around here to supporting him. And if you go north, north in New Hampshire, where it is much more conservative, they're not going to be supporting Kasich, who's much more moderate to liberal. His support base is going to be down in southern New Hampshire, where nobody seems to admit that they support him. I know what it is. They're polling all of those Massachusetts people that are pretending to be New Hampshireites. That must be how they're doing it. That is got to be. But I haven't seen any poll in Massachusetts where Kasich is polling so high. So maybe that's not the case either. I don't know. I don't know who they're polling when it comes to that. But look, I don't understand why the other candidate supporters are so quiet. Well, they're not covering us. Look, the news media doesn't count anymore. Barack Obama made sure of that. And that's another reason why I don't understand why the media loves Obama so much, because he basically killed him. If they were on life, if the lamestream media was on life support in 2008, Barack Obama pulled the plug. Because he made sure that the lamestream media was pretty much irrelevant when it came to electing people. He put the power in the hands of the people, called social media, called blogging, called alternative media, called talk radio. Donald Trump understands this. Why the hell don't the other candidates understand it? Look, Bernie Sanders understands it. Why is it the Republicans don't understand it? I don't know. You guys are worse than cats. I have a cat. Cats don't like change. I know that. You change something on a cat that a cat, is used to and finds preference to, and you change it on them, man, they will give you those evil eyes for the next week. I've done an experiment on my cat. My cat's name is Cooper. And I would something that I know that he liked, his cat tree. There was a time I moved it. He wouldn't go near it for 5 days. And I thought, well, you know what? Maybe I don't like it here. So I moved it back. As soon as I moved it back, he was all over that cat tree again. And I noticed that in that 5 day time, he would ignore me. He would sit in front of the cat tree where it used to be, and just give me that evil cat look. And look, this is what you people on the right who are supporting these other candidates are like. This is what the other candidates are like. They don't like change. They don't like the fact that social media, alternative media, has such power, but they're not going to use it. They're not going to utilize it to their advantage because they just don't like it. They're like freaking cats. Well, guess what? Nobody is going to move the power of the media back into the hands of the few media elitists. People aren't going to do it. So you might as well get on board. You might as well figure out how to utilize it to your advantage. Because the people that are realizing and figuring out how to utilize it to their advantage, they're doing the Charlie Sheen. Ooh, winning. Just saying. I mean, and of course, I have not favored or endorsed any candidate yet. But I got to tell you, it's hard to ignore Trump supporters because they're all over the place. The rest of you supporters for your other candidates, you're not. And you know what? You're going to be the reason why your candidate of choice loses. And I see it I see it sometimes on Facebook, especially and this is with the Cruz people, especially. You know, everybody who supports Trump, they're idiots. Well, you know what? That is not going to be the way to win converts. Because now you're talking about 40% of your electorate who likes Trump. And if you're going to call 40% of your voting base idiots, you're not going to win converts. It doesn't work. 4 out of 10 Republicans are supporting Trump, and you're going to call 4 out of 10 idiots. Yeah, we called Obama supporters idiots, too. Look how well that worked. That got him reelected in 2012, didn't it? Think you might want to try a different tactic as well? I'm just saying. That goes for, you Rand Paulites, too, out there. Rand Paul is he's the smartest guy out there. He's the only one. No, nobody else can do it. Well, where's Rand Paul right now? Bottom of the heap, isn't he? Think you guys might want to try a different tactic too? Everybody's trying to pile on Rubio because Rubio's starting to learn a lesson by all this. He's starting to learn and understand. Why do you think everybody's attacking Rubio? Because they're trying to keep him down where they are. Bush doesn't get it. Rubio is starting to get it, and he started to rise. But they're running into a brick wall because they haven't fully embraced it yet. They haven't fully embraced the alternative media sector yet. Do you think you're going to win it the old-fashioned way? Anybody who thinks that has already lost. And you won't be doing the Charlie Sheen by the time all the voting is done. The people who embrace the new ways of doing things and being able to reach people individually on a mass scale, which is social media, those are the people that are going to be doing the Charlie Sheen. Not those who are stuck in the old-fashioned ways of the 70s and 80s. It just doesn't work anymore. I'm trying to help. I'm trying to tell all you people who like somebody or love or worship another candidate other than Trump why Trump is winning and you're not. Because I know some of you, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go on social media and bash me. Well, I'm not the problem. You are. Because if nobody hears about your candidate, and if nobody hears that anybody else is really adamantly supporting that candidate, what makes you think they're just all of a sudden going to jump on board? Doesn't work that way. So I'm trying to help. Trying to help all you other candidates out there who are not at 40% like Trump. Just, look. I would like to see I would like to see ideas really being talked about. I would like to see, the races tighten up so people really understood and started talking to each other and telling different and giving different ideas to make the candidates better. Because right now we got one giant, big guy at the top. And all we do is have a bunch of supporters of these other people attacking Trump supporters. Where are the ideas? Not hearing any. So I don't know how that's a good process, because it's not. I'll give Christie this. Christie's at the bottom of the polls too, but his TV ads that he's been playing here in New Hampshire, and his radio ads, they haven't been negative. They have been talking very positive about what he believes and his good record in New Jersey. The only problem with Christie is right now is that his supporters are not backing him up because they're not talking up his positive message. Look, if you want him to go somewhere, you better start speaking up because Trump people are speaking up. And I've noticed that they're not really bashing other candidates. Wait, Trump supporters aren't bashing other candidates and other candidate supporters. They're really talking up Donald. Donald is great. Donald is this. Donald's going to do this. Donald's going to... And, you get Cruz and Rubio and Paul supporters who are bashing the other candidates and bashing the other candidate supporters. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Christie do a little bit better than he's predicted to do. Because his message, his commercials, are positive. And he isn't talking about anybody else. Ooh, how novel. New York Times again. This is the same newspaper that just had a editorial about a white Republican governor being racist because of what black liberal Democrats did. Yeah. From the Deal Book section, a piece by Andrew Ross Sorkin. Again, this sort of flies in the face of what Bernie Sanders has been talking about. I played you one of his ads yesterday. Took it apart. Will they like me? No. But will they begin to play by the rules of our president? You better believe it. He just comes across as being angry and grumpy. A tidal wave of corporate migrants is seeking tax shelter. Wait, what? Tax shelter? Google is right now is in the middle of a lawsuit with the United Kingdom government over taxes. The interesting thing is that the UK has been investigating Google's tax practice for a decade. And they can't stop them. They're accusing Google of using legal loopholes in the United Kingdom to shelter some of their income over in Ireland, where the corporate tax rate is lower. You would think that if Google was actually doing something so illegal and so onerous and heinous that it wouldn't take them 10 years to bring Google to justice. But it's all about tax money. Well, hello, if Google is trying to legally shelter money someplace else off of United Kingdom shores, do you think maybe it's because your tax rate is just a little too high? Kind of like the United States corporate tax rate. We talk about all these corporations that are moving offshore. Or they, like Apple, refuse to bring billions of dollars that they made offshore into the United States. And they refuse to do so because they know they'll lose probably about 40 to 50 cents on every dollar when they bring it in. Why would anybody do that? The problem with some people saying that we need to lower the corporate tax rate in this country, and they have a legitimate concern, because there literally is probably trillions of dollars sitting offshore right now. And that if they lowered the tax rate, that could cause them all to bring in, billions and billions and billions of dollars and overwhelm the economy, and we could probably have inflation because things would just boom out of control. I understand that could be a legitimate concern. It's economics 101. It's legitimate. But the problem is that fear cannot keep you from moving towards lowering the corporate tax rate to entice them to start bringing their money back on shore. I mean, that's just well, geez, if they bring it on shore, then we could have a booming economy that we can't control for a while. Might have some inflation. Versus, everybody's out of work. Government deficit keeps going through the roof. Debt keeps going through the roof. And corporations keep leaving our shores and more people getting thrown out of work. Yeah, that's the better scenario, right? I mean, it's just unbelievable. It's basically out of pure jealousy. Somebody has more than somebody else, and that, according to Bernie Sanders, that can't be right. That's just not right that somebody has more than somebody else. You can't in America, you can't have that. I mean, it's just terrible that somebody else would have more than somebody else. And it's terrible that somebody actually works hard to get, in this day and age, it's very difficult, although some people do steal it because they, it's called fraud, but they eventually get caught. But most of the time, it's about somebody providing a product or service that a lot of people want to willingly give their money up for, in exchange for. I mean, how is that so bad? It's not bad. It's the way it's the way the world works. But when you start wanting to take something from somebody else, especially when it does not and is not going to assist you in any way, that's just called plain jealousy.
On January 21st, 9 p.m., controversial international rapper-songwriter Corey Preem will be performing his latest single, Blame It On My Mama, from his latest mixtape, There's Heaven and Then There's Hell. Hip-hop royalty will be in attendance, and a special guest is expected to stop in for a performance. It all happens at the Jerome at 85 Avenue A, New York, New York. Tickets just $15. Say Blame It On My Mama at the door to possibly win a free pair of Samsung Oculus Rift virtual reality glasses. Visit CoreyPreem.com for more information. That's CoreyPreme.com.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-616-8010. That's 1-800-616-8010. Again, 1-800-616-8010. Call now.
Did you ever look at the stains in your coffee cup and then realize that's exactly what happens to your teeth? Power Swabs is the 5-minute solution to get your teeth white without visiting the dentist. This is Ben Gordon with Power Swabs, and if your teeth are stained from coffee, tea, or smoking, all it takes is 5 minutes with Power Swabs. In 5 minutes, you'll see an average of 2 shades whiter teeth, and in 7 days, 6 shades. It's clinically proven to whiten natural teeth as well as caps and veneers. The secret is a tooth detergent that was developed by Dr. Martin Ginniger that lifts stains off of your teeth. Best of all, there's no messy strips or trays that you have to leave in your mouth for an hour. Just swab your teeth for 5 minutes and you're done. To try Power Swabs risk-free, call 1-800-291-5140. That's 1-800-291-5140. I guarantee your bright white smile will have your friends talking about how great you look. Try it risk-free today. 1-800-291-5140. That's 1-800-291-5140.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
Start training for a new career in as little as 18 days. National EMS Institute's innovative boot camp program will train you for a new career. Learn to respond to emergency situations and become a certified EMT in just 18 days. National EMS Institute guarantees 100% job placement. Visit www.nationaleMSinstitute.com today to learn more about our 18-day boot camp. Or call us at 1-800-497-6732. NationalEMSinstitute.com.
When you're ready to take the edge off a hectic day, I suggest you start with a little music from Franz Black.
I guess there's lots of ways to look at things that don't seem right.
No Worries has just been released on iTunes and Amazon.
It's gonna be alright.
You can find Friends Black and his music on his website, friendsblack.com. F-R-A-N-Z black.com.
It's gonna be alright.
They do. Average middle-class people have offshore accounts. Unbelievable how average middle-class, everyday citizens have offshore accounts. Because they spent some time overseas, worked overseas, earned a lot of cash, either low tax or tax-free, duty-free, if you will. And there you have it. They leave it over because they know if they bring it all back, they're going to get hammered by taxes. And you have to understand that if I understand the tax code and the tax system and paying your taxes properly, which I am not claiming to be an expert on taxes by any means, because that stuff is just too complicated. It's why you hire people who supposedly know this stuff. But from what I understand, and if somebody's a tax expert, please correct me if I'm wrong. But from my investigatory skills, from what I've learned, what I do believe is the case is that if you are working overseas for a foreign entity and you're not paying American income taxes, then, of course, you get to come into the United States, and when you come to the United States, not only do you have to pay your income tax, but you've got to pay all the payroll taxes as well. You have to pay payroll taxes. So, and when you're paying the payroll taxes, you're not just paying your portion. You also have to pay your employer's portion. Now, that's my understanding of the tax. If I have that wrong, somebody please correct me. But it's a very complicated thing, and I do believe that's the way it works. But when it comes to corporate taxation, we still have one of the highest. I think we're number 2, right? Or we may be number 1 now. The highest corporate tax rate in the world. Ireland did something a while ago. They lowered their tax rate. I think it was at 12.5% now. Well, that's a lot lower than 35%. Even England has a lower corporate tax rate than the United States does. Even England does. So what does that mean when people want to, companies want to divest themselves of the USA to go someplace else because the tax structure is more favorable? Well, companies are in the business to make a profit, to be competitive and to make a profit. They're not in the business to pay taxes. I know these wonderful liberal Democrats like you to believe and think that, hey, companies are in the business to employ people and to pay taxes. No, they're not. They're in the business for one thing and one thing only. They're a for-profit concern. They're in the business of making a profit. Because without that profit, they can't stay in business. And without that profit, they can't keep paying people. They can't keep people employed. They can't keep paying the taxes. They will go out of business. And thus, nobody will get anything. Not even the CEOs. Which is something that people fail to realize and understand sometimes. And it's just, rotten frickin' razza-frackin' brickin'. Excuse me for a second. Now, I don't know why that would do that. Single person here again, running the switchboard. Why something would I'm not even touching wasn't even touching the keys. See, it's got to be that Microsoft stuff. God, I'm not even, and there's a configuration that changes right in front of you. Do you want this to, pops up? Do you want this to access or change? I'm like, no, I didn't ask you to do that. Here's another note to software developers. Stop developing software that thinks it's smart, that interrupts you while you're in the middle of doing something. I know there are some software engineers that listen to this program and listen to other programs because, I hear you out there. Make a software program that doesn't interrupt you. It's kind of, one of the most annoying things, which is why when you go to my website, rodeccles.net, you don't find pop-ups or pop-unders. That is one of the most annoying things I don't care if it's to ask you to join their email, to subscribe to their free newsletter, whatever it is. One of the most annoying things to me, and is very frustrating, and actually a lot of people have complained that it locks up their computer, especially if they have an older one. It's annoying. And I know they all say that it works. I don't believe it really works. Sometimes you don't really have a choice. If I go someplace and I get a pop-up that says, well, do this or do that, and you try to get rid of the pop-up and it doesn't go anywhere until you enter your information, I leave the website and I never go back. Because it's annoying as hell. If I want to get regular info from you, or if I want to buy something from you, I will do it. Put it off to the side where I can still see it. Do not inundate me with pop-ups and pop-unders. It's a pain in the you-know-what. And that goes for all of you people who are designing software. Stop telling your software to start to putting up pop-ups. Do you want this or that? If we want something when we're not using it is when we'll do it. Stop trying to change a I know why it does this, because it tries to change a configuration because it thinks it's found a better or faster or whatever way to do. No, it hasn't. It's just annoyed the hell out of the person who's trying to use that particular program. Like now. If you didn't change the configuration in the first place on me, then you probably wouldn't be popping up. This is just insanity. And people wonder, think about how government might be intruding on their lives by recording stuff. I just saw, what was this? It's about Samsung batteries. And you got some guy out there with a video saying that the government and Samsung is secretly recording everything you do. And of course, it was, I guess, the conspiracy got big enough that somebody had to do a rebuttal to it. No, it has to do with the point of pay type of system now, like Apple Pay and Samsung Pay. Well, and exchange. Remember, it used to be that you could just bump phones or something and exchange information. Well, that's how it does it with this device that's attached to the battery. Why it's attached to the battery is beyond me. I don't know why they designed it to be attached. Why didn't they attach it to some other part of the phone? Because everything else is in the phone. Why does this particular item have to be wrapped around in a sticker around the battery? I don't get it. I think they do this on purpose, just to foment fear from people. Really, I think that's their whole dynamic when they do stuff like that. In any case, stop changing stuff on people. And stop constantly interrupting them to ask them if they want to change something. I mean, if they're trying to save a program, having to save something, that's a different story when you're in the middle, when you're done or trying to save it, and it asks you for specific information on how you want it saved. That's understandable. But to ask if you want this change or that change, or to allow the program to do this or allow the program to do that in the middle of doing something is just a pain in the you-know-what. Doesn't help the experience of using that piece of software. And if I get a piece of software that does that to me too often, I will look for an alternative and dump that software that's bothering me. And I've been known to do that. And maybe I'm not the norm. Maybe I'm not the norm when it comes to that kind of stuff. But when stuff does not go the way I expect it to go, especially if I'm paying for it, I get very irate. And I look for revenge. And my revenge is to drop your product or service as quickly as I possibly can. By the way, I'm still waiting for Fios to come out to Concord. Hello, is anybody paying attention over there at Verizon Fios? Get your butts in gear and wire more than just downtown Manchester. The rest of the state wants Fios too. I would love to be able to drop my cable ISP, but I don't have a choice at the moment. So, get on that. Will you, people? It just, one of the best things to be able to, is competition. Being able to have free competition in the market. Now look, we got it in politics. People are competing against each other, trying to get your vote. It works in business too. Even nonprofits compete. Let me give you an example. When I want to donate stuff now, because of things that I have learned, the only place I will give donate my sellable items to, is the Salvation Army. Well, because around here, we've got two choices, basically. Well, you got a third choice if you want to, give it to a small operation. It's called Families in Transition. And I have questions about their operation, but I've heard good things. But they're inconvenient to go to because it's difficult to drop stuff off for them. They need to make it simpler and easier for people to drop off donations. But the only place I donate my sellable items to that I no longer need or want, instead of throwing them away, if it's trash, I do throw away the trash. I don't take my trash to the Salvation Army. I know some people do that. And I listen whenever I go in there to drop stuff off, I hear them complain about other people just dropping off trash. I mean, come on, throw your stuff. If it's trash, it's trash, throw it away. But I won't go to Goodwill. I've learned too many negative things about Goodwill. So I won't give my donatables to Goodwill anymore. I only go to Salvation Army. And if Families in Transition made it easier to donate, I would donate to them too. But I don't when people want to give you stuff, why do you make it difficult for them? I don't understand this kind of stuff. It drives me insane. There's competition out there in everything. Unless of course the government says you can't have competition. If the government has a government-sponsored monopoly on something or allows a government-sponsored monopoly, then that's a different story. Kind of like cable. Had government-sponsored monopolies. They still have government. You can still only have one real cable company per area. I mean, you can't have Comcast and Cox Communications and Time Warner competing in the same marketplace. I mean, they have to do something alternative. They got to be like AT&T and Verizon Fios. They got to bring it in some other way than cable. Which is why you only get, limited choices in many markets. And it's sad. In this country, we're supposed to, you go to other countries and there's competition up the wazoo and prices are extreme. Did you know that literally in London, England, there are so many competing ISP providers in London that, for the no-frill stuff, you can get ISP access for less than $10 a month. I think it's like $5.99, whatever, £6, which is roughly, $9 or so? I may not I don't know what the bells and whistles are. I don't live there. I don't know the difference. But I'm just saying that because there are so many competing that the price has been lowered to a very competitive rate. What are we paying in this country? What, $50, $60, $90 a month for basic internet access? You realize what that is on an annual basis? I mean, people are paying upwards of $1,000 or more per year just to access the internet. And you got the government asking, well, the internet is just too expensive. We need to help people buy it and pay for it. Not gonna, poor people. Well, because you've cut out the competition, the real competition for it. So there's no price control in the marketplace. It's either you pay it or you don't have any. You don't have a choice. Kind of like tax. Well, these companies have figured out that they've got a choice. Do they want to stay in the United States and pay the stupid high corporate tax rate and be threatened with more taxes from people like Bernie Sanders and other Democrats? Or do they leave our shores, taking those corporate headquarter jobs with them to another country that is more favorable as far as taxes are concerned, where they're going to save a bundle of cash by not having to pay the tax? Well, it's a no-brainer. You're going to find your way to move offshore. I mean, for goodness gracious, how is that so difficult to understand? Competition is not just within our borders, it's worldwide now. Governments are competing with other governments for tax dollars. Hey, we're going to charge you a little bit less. So with the hopes of, instead of having, like, say, for rough numbers' sake, 100 companies based here, that we're going to have 1,000, which means we're going to have a larger tax base and more tax revenue. But where are we going to get it? Well, we're going to have to entice them from the United States, of course, because we're going to lower our tax rate lower than the United States. And we're going to make it easy for them to move here. And that's what happens. Which leads me to this last story for the day. CBS News has a story that Americans hate the U.S. government more than ever. That's not a newsflash. But they're saying that, there's a handful of industries that love to hate. Types of businesses such as that industries that Americans love to hate, like cable television companies. Well, I just talked about internet service providers. Just talked about it. The federal government has joined the ranks of the bottom of the barrel industries, according to a new survey from the American Customer Satisfaction Index. American satisfaction level in dealing with federal agencies, everything from Treasury to Homeland Security, has fallen for a third consecutive year, reaching an 8-year low. Americans hate their government. Hell, we see new TSA abuses almost daily. We hear about the IRS targeting innocent people almost daily. Homeland Security, the news coming about what they're doing to our privacy, or lack thereof, almost daily. I mean, can you imagine why people don't like the government? Taxes. They want to raise taxes. Every time we turn around, they're talking about raising our taxes so they can pay for this and pay for that. Because the government can't do with less, but we, the people, somehow sure as hell can. Oh, you make $50,000 a year. You don't need all that $50,000. Okay, let's be fair about it. I'll give you $5,000 in taxes and I'll keep $45,000. Okay, that's good. Until the next year comes around. You know what? We actually need $5,000 more from you. So now instead of $5,000 in taxes, you want $10,000 in taxes. Yeah. Well, where am I going to get the extra $5,000? Oh, you can do without that. You're rich. And then they come back to you and time and time. So by the time a few years go by, before you know it, your $50,000 income that you used to enjoy at 45, you're now down at 35,000. And you're wondering how the hell that happened. And you're not getting anything for it. But this is why people don't like the federal government. That, and, for a whole host of reasons to trashing their rights that were guaranteed, protected by the Constitution. Oh, yeah, screw the Constitution. That's an old document. It doesn't mean anything anymore. You don't need this, and you don't need that right, and you don't need that right. But, we're going to decide what you need and don't need. We're going to decide how much you can live on. You want to go to work? Sure, go to work. We're just going to bankrupt you. Right now, folks, what's going on is the federal government is not doing something that we call the Charlie Sheen. It's not winning. It's not winning at all. I mean, from overregulation to taxes, it seems like the only people in this country that need to do with less is the American citizen. Illegal immigrants don't have to do with less. The government at all levels doesn't have to do with less. Just you and me have to do with less. We're told that we're selfish if we don't. We got to do with less. Less and less every day. Well, maybe we're getting tired of doing with less and getting less in return for paying more. In any case, we've come to the end of a busy morning. We'll be back here again tomorrow. You got Rush and Hannity up next to fill out your day. I'm Rod Eccles. This has been the Rod Eccles Show. Same bat time, same bat channel tomorrow. Until then, I'm out.